Immortal Works Flash Fiction Friday, Episode 26. The Discovery, a prelude to The Shadow Above the Flames, written by Daniel Swenson. The elevator door opened, and the dark mahogany door stood before the trepidatious Roger Smythe. Roger had always been a smooth talker, which had allowed him to rise in the ranks here at Union Forest, but there was something about the man behind that wooden door that always made his words jumble into nothing but mush. However, this time was even more nerve-wrenching, as he had been asked to hand-deliver the geological reports to Mr. Perkins himself. "I can do this," he quietly repeated to himself as he walked down the hallway toward Mr. Perkins' office. "Just walk in, deliver the report, and don't embarrass yourself." He stopped when he reached the door, glancing down at the report again. The report showed that the Union Forest geological teams had found 4 other possible oil reserves. One in Zimbabwe, Africa, Jessore, Bangladesh, Lae, Papua New Guinea, and Ardmore, Ireland. It completely baffled Roger how they were able to find oil beneath the Earth's surface with electronic sniffers. How a piece of technology could smell was beyond him. He glanced at the metallic nameplate on the door, ran his hand through his hair, making sure it was all in place, before taking a deep breath and gingerly knocking on the door. "Come in," came the expected response. Roger steeled his nerve and entered. He was immediately bombarded with the sight and sound of multiple video screens displaying everything from news feeds to up-to-the-minute monitoring of the Dow Jones. In the middle of the tumult sat a stern, clean-shaven man in his late 50s with salt-and-pepper-colored hair, a fine, tailored suit that Roger envied, and steel-gray eyes that seemed to pierce a man's soul. "Mr. Smythe, come in," Mr. Perkins said in a smoothed and polished tone. "Please take a seat. May I offer you a drink?" "Would that be okay?" Roger wearily asked as he slumped down into one of the large plush leather chairs in Mr. Perkins' office. "I mean, I'm still technically on the clock." Mr. Perkins waved his hand, dismissing the notion. "Roger. May I call you Roger?" "Sure. Roger, I've been looking for someone to bring in under my wing, and your name has come up a few times in the past. I've been told you're a no-nonsense type of guy, a real ball-buster, so to say. Is this true?" Roger sat up a bit straighter in the chair as he took the offered drink from Mr. Perkins. "I have been known to put my subordinates in their place from time to time," he replied, feeling a little more confident as he drank the dark caramel-flavored whiskey. "Good," Mr. Perkins replied. "Then I believe you've been given the most recent geological reports, is that correct?" "Yes, I have them here with me," Roger said as he handed the reports over to Mr. Perkins, who quickly snatched them from his hand. Roger sat there uncomfortably for several minutes as Mr. Perkins reviewed the reports. A wide smile spread across the man's unyielding face. "Has Marcus reviewed these finds?" "Yes, I believe Mr. Silver's gone over the number 4 different times to verify their accuracy. Why, is there a problem?" Ignoring Roger's question, Mr. Perkins ran back over to his desk. He set about looking through the drawers in his desk. When he found what he was looking for, he pulled out an old leather-bound book and excitedly started flipping through the pages. "What is it?" Roger asked. "I can't believe I finally found it," Mr. Perkins muttered. "Found what?" Roger asked as he approached Mr. Perkins' desk. Mr. Perkins looked up from the ancient book. "Roger, can I trust you?" "Yes, Mr. Perkins, you can." "I mean, can I trust that what is spoken here will never leave this room? That no matter what, you will take this secret to your grave if need be?" Roger looked down at the book, questioning. "Sir? I don't see what this has to do with the geological reports." "Roger, please answer the question and know that your future with this company balances on the edge of a knife depending on how you answer." Beads of sweat began to form on Roger's temples as he considered his response. He had no clue what all of this was about. However, he didn't want to lose his job, and Union Forest was the first place where he was actually quickly making his way up the corporate ladder. His past employers had found that Roger wasn't great with his people skills, and more often than not, many found him difficult and abrasive. "Yes, you can trust me. What will be said within this office will not leave it." Mr. Perkins nodded his head and signaled for Roger to come around his desk. Roger made his way around the desk to take a look at the old dusty tome that laid on Mr. Perkins' desk. Unfortunately, the writing upon the pages of the books was something he had never seen before, and therefore could not read anything that resided upon the pages. "I don't know what I'm looking at here, sir. I have no clue what language this is."
"It's Gaelic. It's an ancient language brought from Ireland in the 5th and 6th centuries, and was spoken mainly in the Highlands and Islands of western Scotland."
"Okay, so what does that have to do with the geological reports?" asked Roger, thoroughly confused.
"Your confusion is understandable. However, with this fossil fuel crisis we are in, I have been trying to find new locations with oil reserves. However, I have also been looking for something different, and if my research is correct, I believe I have found a new sustainable power source that is unlike anything we've ever seen before."
Mr. Perkins closed his book and handed the Ardmore, Ireland report to Roger.
"Take a look at the sniffer readings."
Roger looked over the report and Mr. Silver's notes. "I don't understand. These hydrocarbon readings are extremely low. I don't understand how this site could be viable."
"Look at the readings of the magnetometers."
Roger flipped the page to look at the magnetometer readings. As he glanced over the numbers, his eyes widened in surprise.
"Can these numbers be accurate? These are off the chart. I've never seen readings like these before.
These can't be correct."
"You yourself said that Mr. Silver checked these numbers 4 separate times."
"Yes, he did."
"Then Ardmore, Ireland is our next drilling site, and one where we will invest the bulk of our drilling teams, including the tunnel drilling teams, and I'd like you to be the man that is in charge of the security detail there. I want us there in 2 weeks, and I don't want anyone knowing what we're doing there, including the media."
Roger's eyes opened wide in surprise. "How in the world can we do that? What about the mountain of government red tape that we'd have to get through just to be able to ship our equipment over there, let alone all the permits we'll need to apply for? Don't those take years?"
"Don't worry about that. I will speak with a friend of mine, and he will make sure that all of our paperwork is approved and backdated so we can purchase the land rights so we can begin moving equipment."
"Isn't that illegal?" Roger asked.
"Absolutely not," Mr. Perkins replied. "We've done this multiple times in the past."
"Okay, then I will submit the proper request to begin the transition of equipment to Ardmore. May I ask what kind of new power source it is that you've found?"
"Unfortunately, not at this time. I need to speak with the board before I can let you know. Just know that if I am right, it won't be long before you will be wearing imported suits like myself."
Roger smiled and ran a hand over his chin as he contemplated things. He knew in his heart Mr. Perkins had baited and hooked him. He didn't want to seem too eager. He glanced down at the report again. "I will take my leave and make the appropriate arrangements." Mr. Perkins extended his hand.
"Congratulations, Mr. Smythe, on your promotion. I look forward to seeing great things from you."
Roger shook Mr. Perkins' hand and quickly exited the room, heading for the elevator with a spring in his step. When the door closed behind Roger, Mr. Perkins reached under his desk and pressed a button. The door to his office locked in response, and all of the monitors turned off. He pulled out a small tablet, turned it on, and activated the video conference line that would bring all the active board members online. After a few aggravating minutes of waiting, all 12 active board members appeared on the monitors surrounding him.
"Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules," he opened with a sneer. "However, today I'm going to make you more money than you can ever imagine. Because our search is over. I've found it."
Thank you for listening to Immortal Works Flash Fiction Friday. Daniel Swenson's book, Shadow Above the Flames, will be available June 6th.